We are less than 48 hours away from the NHL Trade Deadline, and today we had 3 more trades plus an NHL signing to discuss as well. We'll get into all the latest coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So we have a lot to cover here in today's video. There's been 3 trades happen since earlier this afternoon, plus we also had a signing take place here this evening as well, so let's jump right into it here. The first trade of the day came with the New Jersey Devils and the Dallas Stars swapping defensemen, with the Dallas Stars acquiring 35-year-old Ben Lovejoy in exchange for Connor Carrick and a 2019 third-round selection. Now Lovejoy is a pending UFA, certainly has a ton more experience than Connor Carrick. Carrick's been injured a fair bit since he's gone to Dallas. Obviously, Carrick was originally a Toronto Maple Leaf and was traded to Dallas at the beginning of this NHL season. Certainly, things got off to a decent start for Carrick in Dallas, and then things kind of tailed off. He's had some injury problems and whatnot, and the Stars certainly want to add some more experience in the blue line. Obviously, Mark Marthot's done for the season. They're also going on the assumption here that Stephen Johns is not returning this season as well, so they certainly want to bulk up on the experience level on the back end. So I guess that's what they wanted to do in acquiring Ben Lovejoy here. It's a little bit of a something. This was a scenario I didn't really see unfolding myself, but Lovejoy to Dallas, I guess, kind of makes sense when you really sit down and think about it. If they're confident they're going to make the playoffs and they want some more experience on that blue line. But overall, certainly one of the more minor deals of the day. Now, the Dallas Stars were not done. Earlier this evening, they also acquired veteran forward MAas Zuccarello from the New York Rangers. Now, this is going to be a much more significant addition to the Dallas Stars. Based on comments from General Manager Jim Nill, he seems fairly confident that Zuccarello can certainly help with some experience, add some secondary scoring, and play a top 6 role for them as they hopefully head into the NHL playoffs here. So with these 2 additions today, the Dallas Stars certainly did bulk up on experience. Going back to the New York Rangers in exchange for Zuccarello's a 2019 second-round pick and a 2020 third-round pick. Now, there are conditions on both of these picks that they can each become first-round picks. On the 2019 second-round pick, the condition is if the Dallas Stars win at least 2 playoff rounds and Zuccarello plays in at least 50% of those games, that condition now can make that a first-round pick. And the 2020 third-round selection can become a 2020 first-round selection if they re-sign him and he remains with the Dallas Stars beyond the remainder of this NHL season. So overall, a pretty decent return, a second and third round pick with the potential of them becoming first rounders as well. I can't imagine the Dallas Stars would be overly fond of giving up 2 first-round picks for MAas Zuccarello, as much as he's a good player, good addition as a rental. I would think more than likely they don't re-sign him in the offseason. So obviously there's probably not a lot of danger of that 2020 pick becoming a first-round pick. And of course, they probably wouldn't mind that 2019 first-round pick becoming a first if that means they're having a deep playoff run this year. So only time will tell, but a pretty decent addition here for the Dallas Stars on Zuccarello. There certainly appeared to be a lot of trade chatter earlier this evening. A lot of teams were kind of zoning in on him, and they were able to get the deal done here and make the acquisition. The most significant trade, in my opinion, of all these deals happening today was between the Ottawa Senators and the Columbus Blue Jackets here yet again. Now, of course, we saw the big deal not that long ago with Matt Duchene going to the Columbus Blue Jackets, played his first game for them last night against his old club of the Ottawa Senators. Now they've acquired Ryan Dzingel as well. I mean, Ryan Dzingel certainly come a long way in his NHL career. Started off as a 7th-round draft pick for the Senators, but went through his development time and was really developed into a really fast, highly scoring winger for the Senators. So he certainly should provide an additional spark to the Columbus Blue Jackets team. They certainly are going all in here, and there's even more speculation that they very well might not be done adding. Now, going back to the Ottawa Senators, in exchange for Ryan Dzingel is forward Anthony Duclair and 2 second-round draft picks, one coming in 2019 and one coming in 2020. So the Columbus Blue Jackets have now acquired 2 rental players, Duchene and Dzingel. They've got their own rentals, so to speak, here between Panarin and Bobrovsky. The Columbus Blue Jackets really are going all in to make an attempt to not only make the playoffs, not only to win a round for the first time in franchise history, but they're really making every effort here to make them as strong as possible to really have a shot at winning the Stanley Cup. having all these pending UFAs really is quite risky, in my opinion, on the Blue Jackets' part. So it's almost like a boom or bust type of scenario. I mean, they have now 4 players on their roster that they are at risk to losing because Dzingel and Duchesne, neither one of them came with a contract extension, and there's no guarantee they're going to sign one. So it's really, a lot of question marks around Columbus. They really better hope they make the playoffs and make some noise and make this all worth it, because it really could all potentially blow up in their face if they even miss the playoffs or go out as an early first-round loss here yet again, like we've seen them do time after time before. I mean, they've already had Panarin and Bobrovsky, who appear to be on their way out the door. I mean, they should have more than enough money to offer Duchesne and Dzingel to stay, but are they going to want to do that? Only time will tell. It's so early in the game here with them just being traded there. We really don't have any kind of indication if that's something they want to do or not. All we know right now is they were not traded with an extension. So if the Columbus Blue Jackets lose all these guys in the offseason, plus they've traded away some prospects, and they've traded away a lot of draft picks to make this happen, and with the speculation being that they may not be done yet, they still might want to be adding another defenseman, apparently is what the rumors are right now, then the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be a force to be reckoned with in this year's playoffs. But like I said, going into next year, they're going to have a lot of contracts to be done, and they very well could be at risk to lose a lot of players and really be setting this franchise back. But like I said, hopefully it works out for them in this case. Now, the other big signing that we had for today, the Florida Panthers have re-signed Frank Vatrano to a 3-year contract extension at a $2.5 million annual cap hit. Now, Vatrano's been a very, very nice fit in the Florida Panthers organization since he was traded there from the Boston Bruins. He's already has 20 goals this year. He's certainly broken out as a big-time player for them, so scoring some timely goals. So obviously the season's not over. With the games left to be played, he likely will end up with somewhere between 25 and 30 goals, which is certainly a career high for him. So to get him locked up for 3 more years at that cap hit, I think is a great signing for them for sure. I mean, they're already been rumored to possibly be clearing out some more cap space with guys like Jonathan Huberdeau and Mike Hoffman's names coming up in trade rumors. I think Hoffman is the more likely one to go if they do make a deal. Hoffman does have a modified no trade clause in his contract, and he has been asked for the teams that he wouldn't accept a trade to, so they know what they're working with here. So there is a pretty decent chance that Hoffman goes before the deadline. I don't think the Huberdeau rumors really had much to them. I think he more likely stays, but they want to make sure they have as much flexibility as they possibly can in the offseason, as they plan on trying to snag a few of those players from the Blue Jackets here that we were just talking about moments ago. So certainly lots of interesting news here today on the trade front. There's all kinds of other things kind of heating up, all kinds of other players having lots of discussion around them here as the day has gone on. So we still have tomorrow and part of Monday before the deadline kicks in at 3 o'clock Eastern time on Monday, February the 25th. There's still going to be plenty more deals to discuss here. We very well could have more this evening or into tomorrow. The New York Rangers, for example, have had a lot of discussions around Kevin Hayes and Adam McQuaid. We've heard more talk around Mark Stone. There's all kinds of other things that are kind of being discussed. So even with all these trades taking place today, there's still all kinds of interesting names to watch on the trade bait board. I think the teams to really keep your eyes on here moving into tomorrow and Monday on the deadline is Winnipeg and Nashville, certainly 2 of the bigger ones. They've yet to really do anything too significant here, so obviously they're going to be weighing out their options. It's been speculated that Tampa might be looking at Wayne Simmons. Right now it's looking like the Leafs might not be overly active. They've been having conversations, but the price tags are kind of high, and they might be shying away from acquiring a defenseman. So, I mean, with Carolina also kind of hovering around the playoffs, it looks as though they might not be selling off some assets like they were rumored to be earlier in the year. So that's certainly affecting things. And with Columbus taking a drastic change in approach here, doing significant additions, it looks as though Bobrovsky and Panarin are likely staying put as well. But there's still all kinds of balls in the air, all kinds of teams having lots of conversations, lots of big names still in play. So certainly stay tuned here. There's going to be all kinds more action to discuss here over the next day or two while we reach the deadline here on Monday afternoon. So stay tuned. We'll keep you all up to date with all the latest NHL transactions. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. If you're new, hit that subscribe button to give this video a thumbs up before you go. And don't forget to leave your comments to let us know what you think of all these trades that happened today. We will catch you next time.